Alright, hello everybody, good morning. It's day one, and this week what we are gonna be doing is learning German through Google Translate 100%. And by the end of the week on Friday, I've set up a call in German with my friend Anya from Learn German with Anya, who is a big German YouTuber. I haven't told her about this experiment, about what I'm doing. All I've told her is that I can speak German, and given how good Google Translate has gotten, I thought it would be interesting to see if you can replace the entire edifice of language learning, the textbooks, the teachers, the courses, everything, with just Google Translate. So I've come up with a list of phrases that I want to learn each day. So I'm going to type in a phrase like, I speak German. Ich spreche Deutsch. Google Translate has an audio function, so you just click on it.
Ich spreche Deutsch.
So my plan is using a program called Audio Hijack on my computer to download the audio and putting it into a flashcard program called Anki. And we're going to see through a combination of memorizing the sentences and trying to learn the grammar naturally by studying what the translations look like, seeing if I can get to a conversation in German. Look, I don't know if this is gonna work, but probably I think each day this week I want to spend at least an hour. So I have my whole German deck here as well, and I have the audio. So we have this sentence: I learned German with Google Translate. Is Ich habe Deutsch mit Google Translate gelernt. I think that's it.
Ich habe Deutsch mit Google Translate gelernt.
Ich habe Deutsch mit Google Translate gelernt. I'm setting myself up for a world of hurt and embarrassment when I speak weird Google Translated German to somebody. Oh, okay, so pros of my experience so far. With this Google Translate, I can be going around learning sentences in German anywhere. It's on my phone, it's on my computer, I'm in the park today, obviously, I can be just kind of walking around, listening to my German sentences. However, I have to be perfectly honest with you here, I'm getting a little bit nervous about this challenge. Honestly, I don't know if this is going to be possible. I basically just don't know if, by the end of this week, I'm actually gonna be able to speak German. I mean, I've never studied German before in my life. I have no idea what the language is supposed to sound like. The only thing I have to go off of is Google Translate, which
Sprichst du Englisch?
Isn't really the best audio. It's just kind of computer generated. If I was actually learning with a real person, I'd be able to be hey, why does the S here sound like that? And the other thing that I'm finding really difficult about this challenge, Google Translate is only giving me one sentence to say, but you can click into it and there's a lot of different varieties. Some things seem more formal than others, but I don't know if Google Translate is giving me the kind of language I need to speak to my boss in the newsroom, or the kind of language that I'm chatting with a friend. I sort of want the latter, but I feel like Google Translate might be giving me the former. I don't know. The reality of trying to learn German through Google Translate is not as sexy as the delicious clickbait that I know you were all expecting. I mean, I promised Anya an amazing conversation in fluent German. Usually when I learn languages with another human being, right? It's you get the sense of achievement. The next thing you can say, you can immediately go and practice with that person and get better each time, and it's this exciting feeling of motivation. Right now, I'm learning with this thing. I'm learning with a freaking robot, and I feel every day I'm just battling a robot monkey overlord, this unthinking AI that's challenging me with these flashcards and automatically generated speech. There's nobody to turn to for help. Okay, I mean, some things are pretty straightforward, right? If you're an English speaker, you get that ich lerne Deutsch means, I learn German, right? Pretty straightforward. But then, why does how are you today mean wie geht es dir heute? If I were learning with, a real person, or I had some kind of textbook that was explaining the grammar to me, I'd be oh, okay, that makes sense. But I don't have that. So the only thing that I can really kind of hope for at this point is that, over the next couple days, and that's all I have left, these sentences that I'm learning and studying will the more examples that I learn just kind of sink into my brain. Alright, I don't want to jinx this, guys, but I feel something is happening. I really feel I'm starting to absorb this language. I mean, I just woke up this morning and I just felt like, oh man, ja, ich heute spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Like, and I'm like, where the did that come from? I think part of this is just the nature of what's called spaced repetition. So in order to study something really efficiently, you don't have to review that sentence every day in order not to forget it. All you really have to do is review that sentence on day 1, and then on day 4, and then on day 15, and then on day 30, and you basically need less and less time in order to remember that sentence. And I feel like part of what's happening is just this natural osmosis of spaced repetition into my brain. One other thing that's also been helpful is trying to just have conversations with myself. If a sentence pops up like, was anderen Sprachen sprichst du? I think to myself like, oh, okay, well, ja, ich spreche English und Spanish und Chinesisch. All this being said, I definitely feel a lot better today than I did yesterday, but I still don't know if this is gonna be enough to carry me in a real conversation with an actual native German speaker, but let's go. I'm super excited, also really nervous, but super excited. It's day 5. I've been studying the whole morning, the whole week, getting ready for this event. I have to speak with a real live German speaker in German, having only studied German through Google Translate. Will it blend? I don't know. I've never spoken German with anybody in my life other than Google Translate and mein selber. Make sure to subscribe, regardless of whether this goes well or not. Now, oh my god. Now it is time to talk with Anya. Okay, let's go guys. And so, with a grand total of 3.79 hours of study time spent and 124 sentences studied, as tracked by my app, I was finally ready to speak with Anya. Hello, Anya.
Hello. How are you, Eric?
Ich bin sehr nervös.
Gut.
Ja.
Sehr gut. Also ich meine, nicht, dass du nervös bist, aber gut ausgesprochen.
Oh, mein Aussprache ist gut?
Ja, war gut.
Oh, danke.
Bitte.
Aber ich spreche so ersten Mal Deutsch.
Wirklich?
Heute.
Aha. Und wie hast du Deutsch gelernt?
Ich habe Deutsch diese Woche gelernt.
Diese Woche?
Diese Woche, ja.
Nur diese Woche? Okay.
Diese Woche, ja, jeden Tag. Jeden Tag ich habe Deutsch gelernt. Aber
wow.
Ich möchte mit dir Deutsch üben.
Sehr gut, ja, okay. Erstmal, woher kommst du?
Ich bin Amerikaner. Amerikaner. Und Sie?
Ich bin Deutsche. Ja, ich bin Deutschlehrerin auf YouTube. Ja, genau.
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Ja, ein bisschen.
Oh, ein bisschen, ja. Ich spreche nur wenig Deutsch.
Aber du sprichst gut und deine Aussprache ist gut. Ja,
danke.
Welche Sprachen sprichst du? Du sprichst Englisch?
Ich spreche Englisch und Spanisch und Chinesisch.
Wow.
Heute ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
Ja, du sprichst gut. Sehr cool, wow.
Ja.
Wie heißt du?
Mein Name ist Xiaomanyc.
Ja, genau.
Ja, und Sie?
Anja, ich heiße Anja.
Anja, oh.
Freut mich oder schön, dich kennenzulernen. Nice to meet you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have something also to tell you, Anya. Ich habe nur mit Google Translate Deutsch gelernt.
Ah, wirklich?
Ja.
Oh wow, du sprichst echt gut. Aber du hast
This whole experiment was to try learning German 100% through Google Translate.
Wow, das ist so witzig. That's so funny. Das ist so witzig.
And this is my first time speaking German with a real person, so.
Aber dafür sprichst du gut und deine Aussprache ist gut.
Meine Aussprache ist Google Translate Aussprache.
Oh Gott, sag mir das nicht. Don't tell me, because actually it's good. Das ist deine Challenge für diese Woche. Eine Woche Deutsch lernen und dann...
Ja.
Du sprichst Spanisch, Chinesisch, Englisch.
Anderen Sprachen spreche auch spreche, aber schlecht.
Schlecht, okay,
Schlecht,
alles
ja.
klar, ich verstehe, ja.
Ja.
Aber cooles Experiment, ne? Sehr coole Idee, ja, das ist witzig.
I'm surprised. I feel like if I keep this up, I could be like...
Exactly,
you know,
you should.
it's hilarious.
Wir machen das jetzt jede Woche. We will do this each week now.
Right, and I had a thing where like I basically forced myself to only I didn't look anything up. I didn't use any dictionaries. I didn't look up any grammar, no textbooks.
Wow.
I just tried to absorb the grammar from Google Translate. So.
Das ist echt verrückt. Hast du noch einen Satz gelernt?
Was hattest du zum Frühstück?
Sehr schön. Heute früh, ich habe einen Shake getrunken mit Haferflocken, Oatmeal und so Obst, Fruit.
Isst du gerne Oatmeal?
Ja, manchmal so Haferflocken, aber nur mit Früchten. Only with fruits or like not vegetables, but Obst. Ja, genau. Und du? Was hast du zum Frühstück gegessen?
Was sagt man Bread auf Deutsch?
Brot.
Yeah.
Brot, wirklich? Er ist Amerikaner. Essen Amerikaner Brot?
Manchmal. Sure.
Ja. Echt super, dein Deutsch.
Ja. Danke.
Du bist ein witziger Typ.
Auf Wiedersehen, Anja, danke. Holy shit!